し、時間の無駄。し、時間の無駄。し、時間の無駄。
Hello, sorry I'm a bit slow to start today. I'm gonna connect the chat to program. I was making myself a drink because I realized I didn't have a lot of drinks left, but I have a lot of different kinds of drinks on my table. I've got a third of a bottle of jackfruit blend that I made. There's a half bottle of fruit punch I've got. And then I just made myself some hot cocoa. With all these drinks, you must be very well aware that today is reading day. Mostly because I need more materials that I can only get through chapter 8. Or at least the best farming spots are chapter 8. Anyways, you can hear it in the background. We've got it going. We left off after doing this bit of story. I made 2 silence born of excessive speech. Because it has never demonstrated impatience when explaining a story to others. She's either very good at controlling herself, or she actually enjoys it. That's gonna be me today. I'm gonna enjoy reading, and I'm gonna enjoy the story, but I'm not gonna enjoy just the sheer amount of text. My voice is not built for 2 hours of continuous speaking. But let us commence forth. Central District. A short while before. How are you certain Amiya's group will reach the command tower without crossing one of Talila's elite squads? This is the problem with conspirators. Take a warlord or a tyrant of a devious king. Their strongholds are always easy to defend, hard to attack. They know their own deeds will invite furious retribution without fail. They use superior strength and advanced armaments to deploy unyielding defense. Yep. Seeing as Talila's despotic... I'm gonna need to look that word up. Despotic... Oh. Basically just means that she's a tyrant. Tyrannical ruler. So seeing as her despotic behavior is confirmed to be some kind of act, she would not do things this way. I want to hear your reasoning. If my thought process was one that won your approval, did you think I would thus feel some kind of happy? No, I just want to hear your reasoning, dude. Respect is a two-way street. If you value my point of view and arrived at any useful conclusions, then I, in turn, will give your point of view serious consideration. Lila is maintaining her own image. Okay, I'm just making sure the stirring isn't picking up. She needs to have the normal infected respect her, have the sarcasm mercenaries obey her, have the guerrillas trust her, have the zealots worship her. She needs to have the distance between her and them clearly visible, and have these people able to examine each other. According to a series of behavior exhibited by Reunion so far, we can very clearly realize that Reunion's other leaders do not particularly recognize Lula's conduct at all. Even Patriot, seeing through to her scheme, had no power to reverse the tide in the middle of its change. He could have killed Tallulah all the same. He still would have been unable to alter Reunion, tending towards collapse. To say nothing of the plot to exploit the infected that Tallulah has drawn up inside her own head. The time she would need likely far exceeds the time Union has existed so far. Time to sip. I'll take a drink before the stream. I conjecture that all of Reunion's actions up till now have been premised on a plan, namely, Reunion will perish after all of this is over. Tallulah will scatter key and hidden forces across every part of her territory. When she needs them, she'll assemble them and have them make their appearance at the right moment. Doctor, I believe the Empire of Ursus's Third Army would not permit any infected to act freely whatsoever. However, Reunion's current conduct is all within bounds of their tolerance. Superficial violence, lacking discipline and organization. Third Army must be happy to see it. Think about it carefully. Would they limit themselves to being onlookers? Thus, would they risk truly, willingly letting Tallulah control a whole city? Even a whole country's state of affairs? So she's implying that Ursus is involved in this whole plot because they wouldn't willingly let this happen just under their noses if they didn't approve of it. Throughout all of it, Tallulah has a way of just keeping everyone under her control. Or perhaps even this is one of the weights on Tallulah's scales used to swindle the Ursus military out of their power, having them hibernate somewhere, waiting until the situation is just about to move on from her control. And then, in the true sense, she'll be able to use the power she could never even touch, just as she wishes. I'm not quite sure what this is meaning, but that needs time. Now that you say all that, how's she not a tyrant? Because while current Reunion wants that inner leader, it doesn't truly need that inner leader. A tyrant treasures one's own enablers, even if a tyrant more often than not recklessly destroys them for lack of foresight or composure, and weeps truest, deepest tears for it. A conspirator does not. A tyrant has chess pieces, and the conspirator does too. But the tyrant is with them on the chessboard, while the conspirator sits outside of it. We can suppose she has humanity, and thus might make mistakes. Even if we're talking about a qualified conspirator with a scheme on the tracks, then even if she herself died, her scheme would continue as a matter of course. Okay, I think this is sort of confirming that. If she was a tyrant, then she would still value the other players, the other leaders, but it's as if there was someone else just outside of this whole situation, a third party that's controlling things. Or they're not her plans in the first place and she's just following orders. Is our operation useless then? If they were, we'd hardly be taking Rhodes Island's operators to hell and back. The only thing naturally useless is killing her. So in every part and every place, we must break down her plot, antagonize her instructions, and lead her scheme to failure. If we cannot alter land ship's forward march, then we will tear it to pieces and make it arrive at its destination no more than an empty carapace. Maybe I shouldn't have put it to you like that, don't get me wrong. We still need to stop this Chernobog core city. Doctor, you've worried about whether or not Amiya's group will run into any incidents. I think what's on show before us is the real incident here. W. We're W. W stronger. Don't enter. Can you communicate with them? A certain Sarkaz tribe's language. Underground, full of darkness. Darkness create evil. Evil bring pain. Too much pain. Will you share our pain? No luck. Even if they weren't born in Kazdal, they should still have some kind of reaction to a hint of their native language. Their ability to actively think has been damaged. Could those words you were saying have any effect on them? They were meant to in the first place. No. Wait. This wasn't a common sense idea. Don't get excited. But if not, even this lets me rouse their conscious. Then they've already lost all capacity for thought. Beyond simply their ability to express. It means their brain activity's been sealed off. Or that their nervous system has been perturbed by the infected organs. Either way, we don't have enough time left to ascertain the true answer. Just based on the facts we have, it's not looking good. They don't seem like they'll attack us. They're preventing us from entering. Deeply infected Sarkaz mercenaries in this area around 6. And seem to spend most of their time set to an unconscious roam. The range of movement doesn't extend outside this passage. These severely infected collected here only after they picked up on our activity. Moreover, as long as we don't cross some boundary, they won't do anything further. Reconnaissance operator, can you detect our straight line distance to the sarcophagus? Determine position via the waveform I provided. 1.4 kilometers. Precise figure. 1,453 meters. If my calculations went wrong, then the breakout of conflict between Reunion and Sarkaz Special Infected happened to be roughly at distance 1.4 oh no. Kilometers from the City Hall too. We initially planned to enter the sarcophagus holding from the City Hall basement shelter passage. But as things were, that accent's likely been occupied by Sarkaz Special Infected of the same kind. I have an unconfirmed conjecture, Doctor. What kind? We don't know what their goal is, but these Sarkaz Special Infected are likely preventing anyone else from entering the sarcophagus holding. And by happy coincidence, district they've controlled measures 1.4 kilometers out. You might be right. But what about their goal then? She doesn't know. At the very least, it's not the same goal these Sarkaz originally had. Poor Sarkaz. Hailing from Kazdal. No matter where, they still become tools. I believe there are similarities between the infected and the Sarkaz's current situations. These Sarkaz here with us could only choose to roll with hate or to lose it all. Things are meant to have changed. We have that power. Those Tikaz, that's a new term, who lost their homeland, have become Sarkaz, rootless as people, and now the Sarkaz before us can barely even be called people. How do you want to do things? All operators, Inspector Hazmat equipment. What we're facing may be a Class 2 emergency infective situation. Doctor, in minimizing wear and tear to the utmost, we must halt the special infected activity to the utmost. We haven't stepped into resolved an emergency infective state for a while. This outfit looks entirely like Ursus's infected patrol unit. Infected patrol unit? There's something I can't deny. The hazmat equipment we've been provided with is emblematic of Ursus's cruel rule over the infected. It shares the same prototypical design. So our approach is... I need to drink more water. My voice is starting to do the thing. Though our approach is intrinsically distinct from the infected patrol unit, I can only hope we're able to continue preserving the intrinsic difference. The outside forces don't force us to change beyond recognition. The same hope we hold for so many things, just like I told you about some time before. I hope you'll hope so too. Sure. No, I guess there's just no music. I think I enabled it again. Was Madame Chen here? Which way was he headed? West, a stone's throw from the exclusion zone of Glowing Hoof. He plotted all of this. It was to ensure the area where we signed the pact was secure. Nithania expanded their contended exclusion zone, overlapping our own. We can infiltrate, kill Kastje, and bring back the mist. No, he's already prepared. In this meaning, The twin empresses directly dispatched the empress's voice, and they weren't short of armed forces. The empresses are fresh upon the throne. If Kashin tends to blow our diplomacy apart, all our transgressive conduct may very well be the empress's excuse to flaunt their power. We can't give Kashin more opportunities to harm Lungmen, or even Yen. Uncle. Michi. Uncle, it's not Tal's fault. I'm not blaming her. Then you shouldn't get mad at me. You haven't done anything wrong. I told her I was gonna go with her, but then I got scared. I let go of her hand. I didn't go with her. She looked really scared. I was really scared, and she was too. I did something wrong. Michi. She made the mistake, not you. But you said you wouldn't blame her, Uncle. No, I won't. But didn't she do something wrong? If she does something wrong, you're not gonna get mad at her? She doesn't know the truth. It's not a truth anyone should be privy to. So of course she made a mistake. If not now, she would in the future. In so many cases, the wrong thing shouldn't be punished. Not only do we make mistakes, we'll make so many of them. If there's some mistake, we will make it. We can't dodge that, nor escape it. Lula simply made the mistake she was bound to. Is that still doing something wrong then? Yes, of course it is. The world of ours wouldn't forgive something just because it was bound to happen. The world is harsh, the people are harsh, the regimes are harsh. Apart from right and wrong, they don't care a damn. As if it's right and wrong keeping them alive, and not what they breathe and swallow. I don't get what you're saying, Uncle. Does it mean Tal can come back? I don't know. Is it because of me? I won't come back. It's my fault. My fault. Oh. Uche. Wipe your tears away. Or cry then. I'll give you 5 minutes. After you're done crying, if there's not still tears in your eyes, I'll tell you what you should do. Wei gazes towards the sky. He considers bending down to comfort the tiny girl. After hesitating, feels as if he isn't suited to the task. You're done crying then. Okay, that is big tail. I want Tal back. What should I do? I'll teach you a world of things. I'll teach you how to supervise a city, how to fend off villains, how to treat your friends. Do as I say, and Tallulah will have a chance of coming back. What did I do? Will Tal be able to come back? Really? Are you tricking me, Uncle? Mama said you only know how to trick people. Can I really believe you? Perhaps. I've made a massive mistake of my own, and it led to your mother despising me for her whole life. Even on her deathbed, she couldn't have let it go. What she told you is understandable, but mistakes can be made right. Uche. Listen carefully. Proper conduct is worth striving your whole life for. Correcting a mistake is worth putting life itself at stake for. Tallulah's departure was a mistake. Every consequence it brings I will bear. And you, or if someone really knows how to pronounce this, I would like to know. You better grow up fast. What'll it be like when I grow up? When you grow up, you'll be able to change everything. Really? Perhaps. Let's put it this way. So long as you believe it will be real. Not sure if I fully agree to that. And it's not terrible of a lesson, but it's sort of setting yourself up for disappointment. Because there will be times when you try your best, but there's nothing you can do. And that's alright. For the most part, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just how you move onwards and how you accept that. Even if you believe you might still fail. But that's a bit of a tangent. Let's continue. I'll teach you to wield a sword. Wield, you shall. Unsheathing, strike, eradicate without delay. Oh boy, that's a lot of text. Alright, map examination here. There is exactly one path. All enemies will have to go through here, but I don't think I can just set up a blockade here and call it a day, because there's this whole corridor here, and there's this whole corridor here. Enemies won't go through here if they don't have to. So I have a feeling this is the civilians thing. I have to break this, let the civilian go through, probably break this, and then go through there, which might mean I have to protect them along here. I'll be bringing the fast redeploy for this, and then probably set up a blockade here. Thorns facing that way so he can cover both this and that, and then I need a healer over here. Let's see. I could have Blaze there instead, and have Thorns on the right side. I'm sorry, I can heal whoever is far from the ranged units. I'll bring my sashimi man. I really don't know. This is just... I don't know, I'm kind of low brain power today, but... I'll just bring some characters I like. I have so many queued up for E2ing, but I just don't have the mats for it. Global presence. Emotional support serving. I'm a really big fan of Surther. If memory serves me correctly, and I don't trust it too, the old man's name was Ivan. Slav. A very common name. And he was the sort of peasant farmer you could find anywhere. But he sacrificed himself. For a whole mess of reasons, he gave his own life. I think about it every now and then. Am I truly worth people sacrificing their lives? Elena went with me. She was gentle most of the times, but would suddenly just come out with venomous tongue lashings. That made me uncomfortable, to say the least. The plan was proceeding smoothly, in accordance with my own ideas. Rapidly, the infected of this place would surely unite as one. I hoped it would be effective, and I hoped it would be enough for the old man to rest peacefully. Aside from the old lady, no one else had been closer family to me. February 7th. Ooh, a new one. 3rd year without the black snake. Sir, I'm... What you here for? Don't like the look of your clothes. Some old vet, are you? He looks like he's done with life. Get lost. There's nothing even left here. You lot stole it. All of it. And what you couldn't steal, you burned. Bastards. You came to kill me? Kill me then. Goddamn demons. No, sir. I'm here to tell you that the infected patrol unit is sweeping this area today. Then let them sweep. Let them kill us all, why don't you? We built our pathetic, unlivable village all the way out here, and they still come for us. What else can we do but let them? Sir, you can hide yourselves, and I'll talk to them. I can conceal myself. And who are you? I always said you military noble bunch. No matter what you pretend, you're all just out for our lives. You're not quite their sort. You actually talk with us, and they think we're barely even worth whipping. Huh? Hello? Gone? What kind of stunt is this? Oh, damn us all. Damn us all, what a pathetic ending. It's no bad thing to know your own damnation. Mr. Patrolman. destitute and lousy, bad physique. You wouldn't be much use even if we sent you to the mines. How do you want to die then? Painlessly? Slowly? Mr. Patrolman, look at me. What harm would leaving me alive do you? You say that with a weapon in your hand? Sorry. Oh wait. He's not holding anything. Sorry, Mr. Patrolman. This was for whoever that was just a minute ago. I don't know where she's gone now, but... Even burdened beasts are worth more than you infected. They can at least move goods. Your existence is a waste to His Majesty's land. Why is that? Where did you come from? Oh, that's just a sword. From far, far east. What the hell are you? You. Are you infected too? I am. I can think. I can speak. We infected live and die. Why should you decide when and how? What is this bullshit? If you could let us die peacefully on our own terms, we'd hardly even be upset about it. But my infected brother, look up at him. Look at his face, his grin, his laugh. They want to decide our fates, control us. Perhaps our lives aren't worth much. But do you think you'd be worth a single gold coin? You. You're not worried that the infected will hurt anything, no. You've hardly met more than a few remotely threatening infected in your whole life. All you want to do is exploit us to our last days. Make playthings of our lives. Ah. My brother. In all their past outrageous acts, have they ever spared someone for their conduct? Have they ever let another live for following instructions? They have not. Each time they let you live, it was only because they still saw worth they could squeeze from you. With no money and no land left, they'd kick you to the floor. After all, the cities don't even give the infected a chance to live. How should we infected live? How should we die? That is for us to decide. But who are you? You good for nothing. Tell me your name at once. In the name of the Emperor, for daring to lead his citizenry astray with these ludicrous ideals, we sentence you to death. My brothers, I have no name. Refer to me how you wish. You must call me something, you may call me to the law. My enemies, you have no need for my name, but my fires will set you alight. There's a quote, like, oh, so you won't tell me your name? Then you will just die a nameless fool.
俺の貴重な時間を無駄にしないためにもな。リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。一気に貴様の生死は私が決める。チェーンソーのうなり声が聞こえる？
Be free, my dude.
わあ、リンゴちゃん。今日もよろしくね。どけ。貴様の生死は私が決
I'm
める。
still trying to figure out. This map is just so
みんな、
weird.
こっち来て。
And their pathing just defies what I expected.
ポートキャリブレーション中よ。前に進む。
Yeah, I might get swarmed there, so just drop him. down. I need to guard this whole corridor.
私が振りまく地でみんなこっち来て
分かった。目を凝らせ。これこそがイベリアのデストレッツァ。
Truly a distress moment. Do not want those two there. Obviously.
準備はできたかみんなこっち来てあんたそれ隠れられてないよ
Oh no, he's about to die. Stop.
水洗い。
Did he... Oh.
Team の消耗を考慮すれば、即時撤退以外に選択の余地はない。
That is not cool. Not stonks. Alright, so I need to kill the dudes quickly. Very quickly.
出発だみんな助けに来たよリンゴちゃん今日もよろしくね一気に型をつける貴様の生死は私が決める進め
I use backpack this time because I want that early DP.
この辺温度が低すぎるかな
Good enough.
さあ私の武器は誰にでもみんなこっち来て
This is so slow though.
この一歩佐藤は危ないからね
They should be running like their lives depend on it.
どけ
Because they do.
時間をかけるつもりはない。
They're just not taking it seriously
今日も
enough.
よろしくねお
They're infected, they should have powers.
やってみましょう。三枚おろし。
このチェーン
無駄だ。
みんなこっち来て前に進むぞこの一歩あんたそれ隠れられてないよ
はい。
Alright,
私にノリノリの曲でい
get
くよ
that dude. Gonna be another one.
わあみんなこっち来て
命令を。無駄だ。
進めご指示を面倒だどけ準備はできたかわあ寝ちゃうところだったみんなこっち来て
Go on, my dude, and be free.
Mission accomplished
Okay, so I'm seeing the significance of letting the civilians or placing down the civilians. So, you fought them off. Is that it? Gonna do a little quick drink, a little sip. So you fought them off, is that it? Yeah. I was right not to go with you. Burning people alive. If I ever have to smell that again, I'm sure I'd throw up. I don't know. Don't force yourself. I'm the one who followed you in the first place. I'll protect your infected here. I will. No. I'm not here to beg you to. Of course not. I know without you I wouldn't have the time to go gather resources or info. Who's your contact? Would it be safe to tell me? Are you worried I'm an Ursa spy? Just wondering if it'd be better not to get you wrapped up in this. The moment we became infected, life for us couldn't get any worse. I'm in contact with infected in other places, trying to keep tabs on which way the cities are moving, so I can help the infected surviving out in the northwestern tundra as best as I can. What you're doing is insane in a lot of ways. Where did your conviction come from? Did someone teach you all of this? No. What taught me was both malignant and deranged, brimming with the arrogance of terror, or brimming with the arrogance of rule and the terror of power. And I vowed to walk against it. I'm going to tear the decorous flesh straight from their bones, pull apart the noble cities their pride built, layer by layer. And let everyone know the truth, everyone out on the tundra, and after that, we'll decide our own destinies. We're going to clear this land out. We'll found our own homeland, and if anyone thinks to stop us, we'll topple them right then and there. Part of this world belonged to the infected in the first place, just as so many places across this land belong to all people. Be more realistic, Tallulah. This is all too out there. If you do this, the village will be destroyed. They'll have nowhere to go. The patrol unit will chase them down. If I don't do this, the village will still end up abandoned over time. The elderly, or not everyone can join the army. The elderly, children, the injured and sick. You have them give up everything they've ever survived on. They'll die no matter what the soil quality. I know, Alina. So, we'll find somewhere new. Come on, let's go. We've got somewhere we can stay tonight. Thank you for having us. Ain't nothing. Without you, we'd all probably be dead by now. Though we're still pretty much at death's door. Sorry. Back at the start, seeing you, I was readying up to fight. That was all my bad. Don't really have anything else to welcome, or don't have anything left to welcome you with, either. Just put up with this bit of oat gruel, I guess. We're extremely thankful, sir. You shouldn't have, honestly. No, it's nothing. We only had this bit left over anyway. However many days we have left makes no difference. Wanna set up a village, huh? Doesn't matter how far you go. There's no point. Not much point at all. We can't run. You know how big Ursus is? There's no point heading anywhere when there's patrol guys all over. You know the people aren't gonna want us. We've got nowhere to go. You can come with me. Where? Now? It doesn't need to be now. I'll wait until you've thought it all through. If you end up with absolutely nowhere left to go, and you still want to live on, come find me, or find one of my brothers. If we head for the wilderness, life in the tundra's cruel, to say the least. We've got places to go. Places without the hearth of civilization as of yet. We'll find somewhere we can sow and harvest. We have so many people. They'd surely be able to help out with business, and we'd have an income. We can always live on. And if the patrolmen come, we defeat them. What did you say? What I can do, you can too. You were correct, arming yourself against me back there. People think, come and rob us. Come together and fight them off. The infected have strength. We infected can, bit by bit, regain our own lives, our bread, our flames. Okay, just to touch on a previous point in the story of the previous one. It's definitely a setup for making Tallulah an operator in the future. We can't kill her for X reason, so keep her alive and then make her join us. Death comes when beckoned. Wait, I didn't read this one. Sparks extinguish in a touch. In reality, just witnessing an atrocity is enough to make one become a part of it. Atrocities usually aren't limited. Central District. Help me. We're reunion too. Why are you doing this? You Sarkaz always bite whatever hand feeds you. What's happening? The Sarkaz barricading the street are massacring reunion. Captain? Need to help the casualties. You are, Captain? Mm-hmm. I'm going. Why? Why? How did Union get like this? How did it get like this? Are we gonna unite? Are we gonna be a family of our own? Each other's kin? See you. Stop. Heavy weapons throwers. Careful. Giant floating weapons. Bet you, feline, you did that? You're a caster? No, she's a sniper. Put your weapons down. It's okay now. Go. Go where? We've already. My teammates, my old friends, they all being up him. Gotta add a KE and then got flawless name. Got it. Come here, brother. Those Sarkaz just don't see. I'll say it again, Sarkaz. Put your weapons down. You think we'll stop resisting just because you're holding a weapon? We don't think that way. Then you want to be killed? You don't have much of a choice. Attacking your own comrades, hurting your own kin. When were the infected ever a kin? Our kin only numbers sarcasm. You can have said that when you joined reunion. Betray, harming your family, playing with other people's feelings. Disgusting. Disgusting. Watch out for those weapons. Move. Osmanthus, stop. Ah, Amia. Radian just sent it out. The last message Dr. Hussett gave us was that we should take care on the special infected. They're likely a variant of the special infected from Lungman. We don't know if they'll infect others in progression. Sarkaz warriors, listen to me. There are some Sarkaz with a deep infection and they're catalyzing the other infected. We need the other infected to withdraw from their current areas. Your block still has infected survivors apart from you, and they're all non-combatants. Even if we don't pass through here, I still hope we can all lend a hand to ensuring the safety of those infected. That's impossible. They won't do that. They have no conscience. We've seen it. We went out on our own. We can't pull back. They come this way. We'll have to get rid of them. We can't let even more Sarkaz get infected. You might get infected yourself. Who gives a damn? You want to end up like them too? Those monsters controlled by arts? You don't give a damn if you do? Not the first time we've been made out to be monsters, is it? Oh, the city's toast. Sooner or later, sure, we might end up like them. But if you can exterminate them, then everything gets a little easier. Some people can still live on. As long as Tallulah isn't dead, the city will be annihilated. If W can't kill her, there's no chance you can. If you don't stand with the winner, you can't win. In war, if you can't win, you die. But if you keep hurting any more infected, then this might be where you die. And what if I die then? What if I turn into one of Mephisto's herd, huh? Mephisto's a monster too. We kill each other infected because we're all monsters. All we want is for the Sarkaz not to suffer any further. But when you think about it, what if we suffer? When you leave here and go, whatever, will they look you in the eye? Do you not know your end, being an infected? Of course you know. The moment you leave that tiny little skull out of yours, you'll die. You'll be despised, wrung by the neck, lashed, whipped, and hung. Or you'll be driven out of the cities, run vagrant, starved, bitten to death by the beasts. You can't live on, and you have no dignity. Getting a bit heavy to process. What do you know, warrior? Tell me that you're not fighting for Tallulah. She's strong. With her, the chance that more people live on is better. We don't care if we kill a few more for her. Get lost. Next time I'll cut you in half. Feline, if you want to pass through here, then just kill us. We sure don't want to see our own end up that way. That's if you can kill us, though. You really are the most unsalvageable people. What? What was the sound? Oh no. The block we're in is nearing the ones the command tower closes off its entrances with. Union is likely trying to raise the entire ceiling layer to cover any way in. We're almost out of time. Sarkaz, I'll give you one last chance. If you don't want to get mangled, pull out. Amia, I'll settle this. Vote this. What do you think you can do? Back lines? That's... What's the state of things? We've suppressed all consciousness. Sarkaz mercenaries. Okay. That's good. Are there other infected here? We have news, but I can't say whether it's good or bad. Recon operators looked around a little. There are all over this block, and most of them are in terrible shape. They must have been passive infected, imprisoned in concentration. any passage through the ceiling layer? Yeah. This part leads to an engineering passage. You'll be able to directly enter the structural control area. Hack the remote panels. They can't do a thing about that. Otherwise, for the open passages, recon ops have cited at least 4 battlegrounds. All of them guerrillas against other Reunion. The combat situation seems intense. The guerrillas are strong, but the two aligned Reunion have the terrain advantage, and Stark has mercenaries backing them. They won't be able to push through for a while. It's okay, Amia. Captain. Us engineers will sneak our way in. We'll cut the energy supply to the whole ceiling layer. Can you do it? Definitely. That's too risky. Entering the core city was risky in the first place. No objections then? We're going. Take care. Take care. We're not elite. Operator Osmonsis' squad for nothing. Don't you worry about a thing. Alright, I've watched enough pre-season 4 Attack on Titan to know they're all dead. Put your own safety first. You wanted us to listen. You wouldn't have used those arts just now. Engineering group, move out. Also your bustles. They're gone. Oh, Mia. Shouldn't use up your strength here and let me handle all that. This way, you'll be able to do less harm. Does Rose Island not want me to do things this way? That's not it. It's just, if we could, we obviously don't want things done this way. And the only thing I've used up is my strength. What you use up is your awareness. I don't really care. But we should care. Yeah. This fella wants a few words with you. You're from Reunion. Respected friend, can I call you that? Whatever. Just whatever. We're all done for. I wanted to ask where you're gonna go. And if we can go with you, maybe. We've got nowhere to go. There's sarcasm kill us. We don't want to fight our own people anymore. The guerrillas kill us. The guerrillas will kill us all for sure, too. How do you feel that way? They'd kill anyone if they wanted, wouldn't they? I've heard there's times they say they'll kill the infected just because someone did something or other wrong. I'm not sure. They might do that, but they might not. My belief is you have to see how they truly are to reach the facts. You can't just go on hearsay. But we won't force you off to where they are. You're afraid of them, and the things that they're doing don't sit well with you. And that's why I wanted to ask where you're all going. Heading for the core command tower. Are you insane? You want to put a stop to this turmoil. So we have to head for the command tower. Can I ask you for a favor, infected friend? If it's killing, then no. It's not. I'm hoping you can all safeguard the bystander infected on this block. Be careful. They might not like you. They might not like your uniforms. Then what do? I think one is take off that uniform and be Reunion no longer. Oh, it's gonna be the guy, isn't it? Alright. I'm calling it now. It's gonna be the guy that encountered in the forest. And the other is wear your uniforms but do what you should do. One option is easy, and one's very hard. But I believe this is something you should choose for yourselves. Command tower entrance. Oh, we don't get to see it? I guess being like the true hero, the righteous person, you would keep the uniform on. There's the cowards. They're blocking off the tower entrances with the ceiling layers. Have we still not breached them? The sarcasm mercenaries are entrenching every healing sector's inroads. Other infected have constantly been harassing us. We can't concentrate our attention. You, repeat, you're asking us and Rhodes Island to cooperate? No. If that's the assumption he makes based on the analysis, then that's his own projection. I am. Oh, no, he's talking to that dude. If Rhodes Island is unworthy of your trust, then you don't need to think about any of the city's people for a second more. Even if the rules are going out of style, they'll still play by them. Even if they still owe the captain their lives. If we all die here, we'll carry on patriot spirit. We have strength, and Rhodes Island has knowledge. At the last, as it's incredible on both counts. I personally think she's on par with the captain. And you saw, even the captain gave her his recognition. The ceiling layer is still rising. You better decide because we don't have much time left. That's more or less the shape of things. I've already told them about things, so, Amia, I'm not asking you to agree to this. I'm just thinking it might be good for us, right? It'll lead to a little less wounded all around. I'm not really on top of things, I just... Alright, guard. Your proposal is reasonable. It's just that we won't do the things the same way the shield guards do. You don't have any right to exercise over the infected, and we won't adopt their disciplinary method. Are they almost here? Should be. Mia, I'm making less and less sense of anything. Elon, I'm looking for your leader. If you want revenge, is now a good time? Don't think you can try pissing me off just because you know a bit of arts, white cat. I don't like you. Am I making you realize? The way you do things, you're no merchant's underling, eh? You're more like some infected warrior hero, aren't you? What are you talking about? Guerrilla fighter? You can't threaten our employees. You don't have the authority. The Lord. Can you command those sarcasm? I can't and I couldn't. Please don't call me that. All I am is a member of Rhodes Island. Nothing to do with race, nor any arbitrary form of power. That makes things simple. If you and them have absolutely no blood affinity, you're going to team up with us here? Wreck the command tower together? What are you so on guard for? We're obviously the ones yielding here. The other guerrillas, they don't know what I'm up to. But I have faith you feel the same way as them. The city's people are enslaved by Tulu and her wicked plans, and you, too, want to liberate them. We want to revive hope for the infected. Let's light one more flame for the city. If you truly fight for the infected, then you're sure to agree. Now answer Rhodes Island. Okay, analysis here. So there's a bunch of unavailable tiles around here. I think this is the path that Tula will take. I don't know what this is. If it's civilians or what. I feel like these are just enemies. My biggest concern is through here though. The ice crystal, Frost Nova's Originium ice crystal, periodically releases a frigid wave that will inflict cold on affected enemy units. So are we meeting Frost Nova for the first time? I wonder. Here, I think I can probably just defit tile right here. Burn these three and then set up a blockade here. Thorns in the middle to just spawn camp them. And then 2 other blockers. I'm concerned about this, and I might just spawn camp with Blaze or something. And there's this I'm a bit wary of. I'll try it out though. Actually, no, I can probably just plug that with Helliger.
血に飢えて戦うのは虐殺者だけだ。
Or Jay.
我
Jay
々は
can just
命
handle
の
it
対価を
himself.
支払うために戦っているに過ぎん。
お互いどうにか生き残りましょう。
And just emotional support
パッ
Surther.
ケージにビルドしました。
Always need that emotional support. Another letter. No one would offer the infected any help. We were no volunteer army. We had nothing like the brave walk from the age of Mikhail, the huge ears. We had a city of our own, and we hardly even had fields to hill up. The originium grows on our skin, and the can't feel weapons we hold are stark. The snow in our mouths melts into our water, and our stomachs are filled with grass seed and bark. And so they sang. I learned a good few of those in short order. We were just some infected with nowhere to go. I became more and more sure coming to the northern tundra first was the right choice. Nothing but people with nowhere to run, nowhere to go, wherever you went. The infected in the cities, singled out by the common folk. The races of each country looking on one another with suspicion of their differences. Only out on the tundra do people become a little simpler. I wanted to go back south, but this time I probably wouldn't be going alone. Infected dying of frostbite and hunger on the tundra is not the same as infected dying of their illness on their own land. The infected should pioneer their own city. If Ursus doesn't allow it, then Ursus should be changed. Exile. Abdication, leaving the country. In the end, you were still a homeless vagabond. Whenever you thought of a place they'd admit the infected, you were telling a fairy tale. If the infected wanted to regain their dignity, they needed strength, unity, and a change in the status quo. If we could gain the backing of the infected guerrillas, then maybe this quest of ours would have some chance of success. It was important for the infected to regain their confidence. It was crucial for us to have any sense of meaning in our lives. No doubt about it, it's here. Those patrolmen set up new sentries around the abandoned city. Those black swaddled, black-shelled vermin chewing away at the crops, leaving not even a scrap for us. This city's been derelict for over 10 years now. Its core facilities were towed away, and none of its inhabitants stayed behind. The buildings and city plates left might someday be pulled apart and cleaned too. Which noble's turf was this originally? Baroniva, knifed to death in a riot. Every possible heir of his within 100 kilometers had already been uprooted. Who did it? Sounds vicious. Royalists. The first time we had plenty of them. I don't get it. Ugh, you said a few days ago, right? The Great Rebellion was carried out by the current emperor and the old military noblemen. So why would the army help the emperor kill nobles? The principal driving force driving the Great Rebellion was the age before it. Those Ursus military nobles who stood to gain everything from Ursus's epoch of relentless outward expansion. After the new emperor ascended, it was natural they'd spit out every city, all the resources, and the entire population they'd swallowed up. At that time, most of Ursus's army was under the direct control of the military nobles, but the royalists were no slow thinkers. One fewer noble meant one less share of the spoils. My brain is shutting down. I'll do the battle after this one, and then call it a night. Then, once they disposed of those nobles, silver made its way back to their pockets. The risk was high, but they had the capital to make that foray. And that's why, during the Great Rebellion, past the cities all saving their own hides, and royalists probably inflicted the biggest losses on the families with a hand in the rebellions. Well, they say if it was the actual rebel armies who held the advantage in the Great Rebellion, then the royalists would have been hanged and the emperor placed under house arrest and sent forth by the prerogative of all those goddamn putrefying nobles littering the army. All the lordly dukes and their armies would have split Ursus up into countless smaller regimes. At least, internally, they were sure things would go that way. And don't forget, all those young officers on the rise after the Great Rebellion played out weren't siding with the new emperor. They were probably just siding with the money. See, at the end of it all, it was still far from money. Correct. You have answers for everything, don't you, Talil? The one who taught me all of this was so arrogant. He didn't even care how much I took in. I could probably rattle that crap off without even thinking about it. That's enough. God knows you're plenty smart. Why come here then? You already said any place a person could live is long gone. How do you figure anything out of all their nonsense rambling these past few days? How do you figure out the patrol unit would be here? All the villages in the area were planning to move. If a catastrophe's not coming, then that leaves one reason. It's the rotten patrolmen coming to stay. If it were some army passing through, the villagers wouldn't dare think of moving. It should be because this harvest season's just ended. The patrol unit will carry out their routine inspections now, making sure the tax collectors haven't gone into the villages yet. The nearest city still operating is Shirazberg. It's mainly light industry. It's only stopped over here to procure resources at most. Most villages in the vicinity don't have a landholder protecting them, so those rotting patrolmen have flocked in from all over. They must have seen things were ripe for the picking. Originally, they were just a ragtag organization of rogues tracking down the infected. Now they're all old geezers on a rampage who will stoop to any low. And let's wipe them out. Our days here will be a lot more peaceful if we do. We should. We don't have the capacity. So what the hell are we here to do? You just are attacking the sentries here. That is, Patriots, squad. The Aegis of the Infected. So, yeah, I think that confirms that we're about to meet Faust Nova here. Gorillas? Right. Infected gorillas? Damn, that's... Man, Emperor above. It isn't easy to make contact with them. We've been piling up information for 3 whole months now. And now, we finally scooped up an opportunity. Didn't care much when you said a few days ago we were looking for another group. But if I'd known you were looking for guerrilla fighters, man. But you have an easy time linking up with the southern city infected. Is it really that hard to get in touch with these guys? If you want to survive in the city, you need to be proactive about your intel and collaborators. You want to survive out in the tundra? All you need is solid tactics and a lifestyle that keeps Ursus's spies guessing at all times. The infected have plenty of messengers. The infected have their own methods and channels to get the signal out. The gorillas will only ever talk to the tundra infected. The gorillas don't want to be found. That's the thing. Neither do they want to join up with anyone. They accept the infected into their own group and train them to be fighters. They're probably not exactly what I'm hoping, but the gorillas are still undoubtedly going strong, with no signs of slowing down. At the very least, there have been 2 small gorilla bands who've exchanged resources with infected settlements 10 kilometers out. Even if the local infected won't talk, it wouldn't have been the army who left those fire pits outside their villages. Okay. Here's what they're going to do. Destroy this freshly built sentry outpost and make sure the patrolmen go down with it. Everyone, sit tight here. Be on alert. Patrolmen could be fleeing through these parts. It's a long way out from Raspberg, and the sentries are barely set up. They won't hold out. They'll retreat, as long as they haven't been annihilated by the gorillas, that is. Hide yourselves. If we run into 2 or 3 patrol unit bands at once, we won't be able to take them. Lula, are you going alone? Let me. If we want to make contact with the gorillas, we'll need to show them we're not hostile. And if we end up skirmishing, you could just as easily escape. Are you treating us like cowards? I've never met people braver than you, and that's why. Your fellow infected compatriots, you're crucial. If they want to be alive down the line, then that's more reason they need you. Which is the better choice? You live, or we sacrifice more for my sake? It should be plenty obvious. You're still looking down on us. I've put in a great deal of thought into this decision. Oh man, my brain is really shutting down. I put in a great deal of thought into this decision, and everyone will be better off, by the way. So don't run your mouth. You're just pissed now. Like we're not all burning inside. If you think we don't understand you, newsflash. It feels like you don't bother getting what we think either. A decision means nothing to us. We came back with you all the way from the northwest, and it wasn't for any decision. You fight well. You let us all eat. You taught us a hell of a lot more than we knew before. I don't understand you well, but as far as I'm concerned, you're different from the city dwellers, or even the infected in the mines. You just don't want us to die, right? Ugh, look at us. Think we're scared? We're no cowards. Bet it never crossed your mind, compared to drifting endlessly. We're a hell of a lot more prepared to die with you. What if I told you I saw this coming long ago, and just hoped you wouldn't do it this way? Why? Because I won't die. It's okay. Let me go. Less casualties this way, too. Besides, I'm the deathless. In the words of a repulsive monster. Wait. Ugh. Like how we let anyone look down on us. We don't want them to think we're begging for them. Just let us come with you. No. Only executioners rank people by the murder in them. You've already won respect for the fact that you stepped forward. If anyone looks down on you, that's the one who truly deserves to be scorned. Fine. Wait. Ugh, you're seriously going just a single sword. List of names and a book of frequency numbers too. Remember, my friends, these are far more important than my sword. Really regretted it a little. Didn't run into the stomach-dropping terror that was the gorillas. Didn't catch sight of their iconic aegis. Never so much as glimpsed a single worn-out Ursus armament, or any of the fabled towering sarcas who walked with the gorillas even. For better or for worse, she encountered the Yeti squad, and it was cold. He lit a fire, and jumped into the last of the patrol unit's watchtowers. Out of the startled, certain gaze of a white-wrapped group of Yetis. Careful the list doesn't burn. It's so cold though. Too cold, she thought. Need to warm this place up a little. Oh boy. Wait, are we fighting them? Oh no. Yetis, perhaps you don't know me yet, but I'd like to make a request. If you could please not regard me as an enemy right now, would that be okay? I'll repay in kind, I guarantee. I wouldn't even dare to send a single spark your way. If that's still not enough for you, I can stand at the frontmost line. I'll be a vanguard. I won't guard my back. This isn't some race to piss me off, stranger. The Yeti squad doesn't like fighting dirty. In this battlefield, the patrol units are only enemies. As for you and your questions, we can talk after. That I may fight alongside the Yetis is a great honor to me. Our ice crystals won't interfere with you. That doesn't mean an arrow or two of ours won't hit you by any chance, stranger. Anyone guarantee ours surpasses 1,000 honeyed words, Miss Yeti? I don't know how much you can actually help us. The song slaps. Oh. Did I misjudge? Okay. Oh, I definitely misjudged, didn't I? Kill him. So what would I do there? I'd need a sniper or something at the bottom. W is a bit too expensive for that. Bring one of my original waifus. Blue poison. Similar opening. Place her there. I get my dudes. Oh. My hubris catches me again. Oh, I didn't even bring with it. What am I doing? It's okay, I can just do classic.
私の武器は家まで送ろうか
Oh, wait, that's illegal. What just happened?
我が道何時に死をもたらす
I'm not gonna end this run quite yet. I just want to see what just happened. I can prevent that.
この辺温度が低すぎるかね我が道何時に死をもたらすどけ
There two blocks.
私の武器は誰にも扱える家まで送ろうか
I think those are two block enemies.
前に進むぞ
KJ is just useless for most of this battle. When do I need him? Okay, around 67. Oh, he's just... Oh, he hasn't quickly enough. Okay, I think I understand now. Those dudes are 2 block only. I think I can abuse the fact that there's just a crap ton of them right at the front and just burn a wall. As for my opening setup, I think this should be okay if I just repeat the same-ish thing. But this time with stupid DPS.
即戦即決しよう。俺の貴重な時間を無駄にしない
Put
ために。
Myrtle back a bit farther.
本気で行くよ戦術支援システムオンライン面倒だな我が報い何時に死をもたらさどけ
時間をかけるつもりはない。
わ本気で行くよこの時ゆっくりとあなた
The
方
poison's got him. I trust.
そうすればお互い手間が省ける。
In life is we
戦場に
trust.
出たから死ぬ覚悟決めろ痛えか痛えのか本気で行くよ治療開始
Yeah, I think that's just 2 block.
これこそがイベリアのデストレス。
本気で行くよ この時どけ
I killed him a bit too slow. Circuit phase. Support me.
言われなくても戦場に出たから死ぬ覚悟決めろ我が道何時に死をもたらす
What a spook there. But yeah, this line is really strong.
ポイズンキス射撃補助モジュール展開起動私の武器は誰にでも扱えるわけです
Jay's able to spawn kill them
痛えか
there, and then these guys just block and then burn.
この一本外は危ないからね
Mission accomplished.
We did it, boys. It was what left the deepest impression on her current self. It was the day her noble life came to an end. You're back. Ready and noble. That's castrated, or whatever his name is. Thought you weren't fond of that sword. Why carry it on your person? Just may as well. Oh. The smell of mud is stuck to your clothes. No smell of blood though, nor anything singed. Your maidservant mentioned you were in a rush to meet me. So much so you did not bathe nor change. Let me hazard a guess. You haven't done anything. Did you find a better way to dealing with this thorn in our side? You found a better way. Unless you did not do as I told you. Is that it? You didn't just want me to eliminate Major Antonio? You tried to trick me into killing a child. That's true. A child. Antonio was taking his son on a trip. He had me frame him, that the gendarmerie would beat him to death on his way to the city over. His son would have had no chance of escaping. Antonio makes an art of covering himself. You should easily have been able to tell that that young boy was not his son. I've taught you this. In times when we have greater goals, we cannot avoid making sacrifices in our morality and resources. Given you've let Antonio go, the next time he surfaces may well be in the residence of some Victorian Secret Service official. Those horrid felines would then surely make a fine point of our foul neighboring cities' shipping routes for the whole year. And take it as a pretense to identify our trading partners, investigate our resources, draw an outline of our import and export itineraries, and produce a clear grasp of our defense arrangements. I've already destroyed the files. Wonderful, you've very well done. You're quite capable, aren't you? Attila, how do you intend to certify? You would all assert that Antonio had never seen in those records before. If he did not know their contents, why take them with him? And how would you prove that he'd betray your dukedom? Betray your sis? Why didn't you go to question him or seize him? Why did you go straight to eliminating him? I do not need to give proof. Questioning him would grant him the opportunity to dispute his charges and escape punishment. His conduct cannot be pardoned. If he may have possibly done so, then, as far as I'm concerned, as Ursus is concerned, as the laws and decrees are concerned, that is sufficient. What a guy. Guilty until proven innocent, but not even given the chance. He's not allowed to have possibly done so. Antonio has already been dealt with. After you destroyed my files, my scales cleaned up the remainder for you. I knew it. I just knew you wouldn't let him go. I've only been training you ceaselessly so that you may step by step become ever better. Now you see that you have once again failed my expectations. You did not work as well as you did last time, Tilo. Your performance at the Shivata conference was outstanding, Tilo. And you ought to admit, too, That you revel in how it feels. How it feels to stand on a peerless summit. Don't ridicule me. Everything about you only stokes the anger in me to a roar. But you must surely revel even more in the feeling of perfection. I'm very clear on your misgivings, and I understand how you think too. That is why the scales let that boy acting as a son run free. How about that, Solo? That wasn't something out of reach of your lone capability, is it? The boy in question was his son. Was his son. Makes no difference if he wasn't. When that boy becomes of age, he'll find you and he'll take revenge for his father. Then perhaps you should prepare. Prepare for some far-flung moment to take revenge for your own father. The one who killed him is still alive and well after all. I've given you this answer before. You must be sufficiently trained to the point where you are capable of personally avenging him. And you currently are not yet so. You can shut up now, Kashi. Accepting that too. Accepting your own personal wants. I do have higher hopes that you may become an outstanding individual. The way this guy talks, man. It's very hard to read. He just oozes poisonous. So it's really hard for me to read. An executioner, a lead gendarmerie. One second, is that an actual term? Oh. Oh, okay, so that's just military force with law enforcement duties among civilians? So military police within the population. A conspirator, a killing machine of a caster. When you say when you say an outstanding individual, is that what you mean? No. I long for an heir. I never imagined you'd say something so sickening outright. Well, I'm sorry, dude. Your hopes are all fruitless. I can see you've gotten fired up. Tell me then, Tilo. Tell me something. What is it you've done that has you so pleased with yourself? Half a year ago, I got a hold of a small splinter of originium ore. And can you guess what I did with it? I embedded it into my own arm. Oh? With wonderful results. I am infected already. I'm an infected now, Dukashi. My life is wound short. And your schemes, your plans, your investments, all for naught. You have no way to use me ever again. Everything I am was by your own design, wasn't it? And now, no longer. Truly, an unforeseen method. Does it taste good? The flavor of your conspiracy bled dry? Kashi? I've already become what Ursus in the world at large most reviles. Reviles. Definition. Criticize in an abusive or angrily insulting manner. Okay. We, most despicable infected, across the cities, the tundras, the barrens, the most depraved, lowly infected. And if your sister saw you like this, would she be happy? Don't you? What is it that made you scheme, rebel against me so, my daughter? You. You deceived me, lied to me. You said Wei and Wu masterminded the murder of my father. You never told me they confronted you together, drove you out of Lungmen. You never told me what role you played in my father's death. Even if Wei and Wu killed him, even if he is guilty, even if he deserves to die for it, you can't escape blame either. On the surface, you treat your subjects well, help with settling the village around the city, give the infected stable residence, but in actuality, you have the infected and your residents living entirely different lives. You let the inhabitants feed their own egos on the infected. You've taken the city, plundering its own residents, and embellished it into a duty, to the point that they push around the infected and the nomadic non-dwellers to bring themselves comfort. Is this your dukedom then? Is this your city and your rule? Use inequality to mold a facade, and a facade to expand your influence? I cannot endure this any longer. Even if I didn't fault your hypocritical means and your twisted tricks. Your pathological lies and false benevolence already had me at wit's end. I've taught you this before, Twiddle. I've taught you. In this period of excessive calm, they cannot accept mutual equal treatment. Not unless we draw this period of mediocrity to an end. You and I may accept their autonomy, just as the Colombians and Syracusans have. But what of themselves? They will elect their next consul, and their next lord, because they do not esteem others. They only fear authority and violence. Not only that, they don't allow for anyone braver than themselves, smarter than themselves, kinder, more merciful. Not unless you are their duke or their emperor. You sympathize with them. You sympathize with my subjects. Sympathize with such residents whose backs are forced against the wall by tax collectors and bureaucrats. That is wonderful. Moreover, even you continue to force yourself to split vile slurs that humiliate the infected, so I do vaguely recall. You constantly made revisions to my policies and even greater attempts to protect them, so much that you didn't even fear arousing the citizens' wrath. I've spent a great deal of time ironing their moods out, Tilo. I'm not sympathizing with them. You certainly do love them. Why you? I'm very gratified, Tila. You should truly care for them. You've come to resemble me more and more, my daughter. And that's sort of the thing. I think, overly sarcastic productions touched on this as a writing thing. It's just when the villain says to the hero, you and I aren't too different. It's really lame, because anyone with 2 brain cells could tell that clearly they aren't. And it just wastes time when the hero just stumbles into some sort of crisis and they're like, oh, am I truly like them? Just, oh well, I guess we'll have to see how it's handled in the story, but I have to point that out. But I'll give you the right to keep saying this crap. But your superficial actions will not and cannot succeed. What makes you think you know what I'm going to do? You don't have the power. No matter should all the people in some desire to reach one single good outcome, those people, as ever, still may fail. It is because that golden outcome of theirs and your daydreams are fundamentally distinct. You have no ability to make differing people endorse some identical action. Their disputes will clash and fall, and that cannot be avoided. How can a Sarkaz face a Sancta? How can a soul from Casimir's face a soul from Ursus? How can a sturdy yet toilsome bear base and arrogant yet impotent hippogriff? You think you let them know how to act? What an arrogant notion, my daughter. You wish to take this appearance and this rank of yours and appeal to them to do something? Ah, of course, this I know. You certainly could do so. In time, you'll rule those destined to follow you. You have inherited the Black Snake's knowledge. The Red Dragon's blood flows through you. You walk the Bear's land, and you thumb through the Hippogriff's history. No person should be born to be ruled by another, but they crave your rule. For all their lives, they've been awaiting someone like you to rule over them. Curses may well tremble for you, my daughter. Those who rule others will inevitably be ruled themselves by the stronger Kashin. Ah, now that is a concept close to me, Tallulah. Let me give you your final lesson then. We will come to sort of transient worldly rule. The last emperor is dead, yet his shadow is still cast upon these great lands of ours. His will, his force of mind, have already passed beyond that era. He inherited the true empire of Ursus, sustains Ursus's flourishing lands, that's the people of Ursus live. Did we lose the sun? The luxuriant branches and stems that Ursus grows up will at once wither away, and all that will remain across this world is inferior creatures, ever more putrid, sucking the nutrients from each other. These people you have seen, they take pleasure in savagery, widespread slaughter, masochism, and are at once fearful and selfish. Oh boy, I don't think I can do another battle actually. This is a lot of dialogue. You dream of education and ideology to draw them in, enlighten them, but you don't know what they bear. Not the slightest that they bear not the slightest interest in what you have to say. Ugh. You deserve to know this. They have survived across this world of ours for countless years, and have become accustomed to a certain deep-rooted way of life. You're merely but a stranger, crashing in on it. So-called rulers, so-called nobles, so-called armies, merely the people of strength, the people lapped in luxury, people who withstood training. Domains can shift, armies can rebuild, rules can fall to ruin. No rule can endure, except where the voluntary will of versus the people follows. They will never be ruled. They only press forth forever. No charity you make is exchange for obedience, for unrealistic expectations. And how the hell would you know what they're meant to be? It was Ursus that ravaged them to this point. I'm very clear about it. I'm too clear about it. And this is why you think they will go with you? For their bread, their potatoes, their clean water and bonfires? Is this how you would promise them? They will. And then, once they starve, their first thought will be how to make a meal out of your corpse. You carry such unrealistic fantasies of them. You will hate them. You will surely hate them. Kashjin, I am not you. I am nothing whatsoever like you. Yet, you are already the same as me. You simply have not been roused from your daydreams yet. In truth, you can and may leverage all you have at hand. If you have some goal, then go. Use terror to destroy terror. Use life to rule life. Use sacrifice to guide sacrifice. Use ignorance to breed ignorance. Use suffering to manufacture suffering. You've learned all these methods. They are already your arms. All that's left is to learn to make use of them. To get used to them. Until your beloved people understand, in the true sense of the word, their country, and the significance of their existence. I can't even tell what you're spouting all this hell-ridden doctrine for, if anything. All this is fact. All this you will confront. How about this, my daughter? You don't trust me. I wish to make a wager with you. In these many years, the originium arts I have cultivated in you have long since budded. Yet time to fruit is already now. What then? In your life to come, you need only raise doubt of all you persist in. You need only raise the slightest hatred for the ones you proclaim your compatriots. And those who you think ought to be free, and you'll immediately settle this wager between us. It is whether in that moment you will walk the path I taught you. Perhaps in these coming years, you will be fortunate enough to avoid those conditions yet. You may, with sheer luck, be living within fairy tale land. Perhaps the people before you will chance to have secret sorrows. They can be understood, explained. Oh, they were forced into helplessness. I can wait. This country can wait. Be it 3 years, 5 years, a decade, a century. You will only arrive at the same answer. And though you will not live an infected life for long, I know that day will come. The empire of Ursus finds itself in a period of repeated ailment. Crops will not grow on the soil of the barrens. Soil and shadow can only bear forth flowers of corruption. Maybe betrayed by those you adored, you may witness the moments in which your friends die for you. You may realize the expectations you held for the future have lost all meaning. Because all that you do in other people's eyes still cannot make up for the pressure you bring about with your appearance, your status. You'll realize it all can be sacrificed. You'll realize that they all love themselves more than their neighbors, you'll come to know that your proud struggle symbolizes nothing at all. You'll come to see these great lands you threw yourself to do not want you. You'll see your thoughts, your actions become non-existent. You'll see them burn. All you revered, your life, your dignity, in philosophy void of all significance. Because these people, who you supposed to call noble, are but ambling corpses. All I have encountered, you will encounter too. You want me to surrender? No. I truly am using these originium arts. This is no deception, nor a threat. Oh, that said, my arts are utterly feeble. All I have taught you constitutes the foundations of these arts. These arts in the moment you reject me. Will carry no impact whatsoever. But should you recognize me? Should you have understood me? Should you realize just the sort of world you're standing in? Tick tock, chime, chime. You will become me. Ursus's future will from then on be in your hands. What are you talking about? What do you mean by all this? Conscious manipulation, thought suggestion. If you got insane, it was you who taught me to withstand these arts. It was you who taught me how to break free from the psyches, originium arts. Thought. Why should I use such contemptible, destructive arts on my own hair? On my own air? So... he has mind control powers, I'm guessing. And he's controlling Tallulah, which I think confirms a previous theory I had. Oh my god, that's so much text. It was one of the previous things I talked about in the chapter 7 stream. And I think everything's just coming together. My arts only expedited a course of events. Expedited your recognition of this great world of ours. You're questioning yourself, doubting yourself, loathing yourself, and seeing clearly. Anew your own course. Plans these arts. All this still would have happened. They were just to get you there a little faster. Everyone in the city, living a make-believe normal life, has learned to hypnotize themselves. They're skilled in escaping from the facts, taming themselves with rules and morals, using the lowly shell of the loser to hide just how easily harmed they are by cruel reality. But I have supplied you a set of armor, a sword of arms, and an ego. These can save you your self-doubt and self-harm. In the course of it all, save you your distress, your struggle, and serve your time. You'll stand up faster than you're kicked down by reality, and you will be reborn. You needn't spend too much of your life denying your own self. I have taught you will once again bear new within your mind, and you will, as if spinning silk from the cocoon, weave anew the knowledge You rid your sessions, and in your well-rounded garden of wisdom, find a path winding yet with uncertain end. So, Ursus's destiny breathes as one with you. The black snake shall walk with you. This immortal will shall never die. Are you cursing me? Are you trying to use yourself to mold me? No, this is not a curse. This is a blessing. I bless you, my daughter. The moment you wake from your unrealistic fancy of human nature, you'll be conscious of why we struggle so for this land's most beautiful future. Yen language, just shut it. You're full of such utter shit. I never taught you such inflammatory Yen vernacular, but it may serve you to learn some. Whoops. That's the role you'll be playing soon after all. Obviously, you didn't let me talk like this in public, so I'd maintain my so-called image. It was to cover you. I calculate so as to make you think of others, but you denounce my proposals, profane my language. You remembered all I've taught you, and now you want to flee. Ugh. But I'm not worried, because in the end, you'll come back to this path. The space between people is filled with hatred, and by that hatred, they are ruled. Love births hate, indecision births hate, admiration births hate. Hatred is the inevitable outcome of interaction. It takes as little as two people to facilitate a sort of rule. Unless they are like me, and love all people equally. Will you hate me too? For what I have done, this world will do to you too. That is all. What you do has nothing to do with me, nothing at all. I'll have no part of it, none. Ah, good. Really splendid. Do not inherit the name. Do not harness the authority. To not exploit the position. Wonderful, my child. You have great resolve. Go and establish your cause by your own hand. And if you don't wish to inherit my domain and political resources, my wealth and my power, then by all means, you may seize them yourself. That you could do so would still fulfill my greatest dreams. No one told you you couldn't define my aspirations? No, no. Of course I wouldn't dream of doing so. But no, well, no cashier would be willing to accept such a present. For diligent, prideful selves, it would be an insult. I've already taught you everything I can. As for all your goals from here on, they'll be your own. My daughter, you truly are outstanding. You break from all you've known without a single thought, in exchange for a new, novel path. The infected will open up a very different sort of territory for you. Their actions upon this land we call Ursus will be unprecedented. She unsheathes her sword. I only came face to face with you today for one thing. I didn't think I'd be forced to sit through your venomous sermon. Have I been waiting for this day? Can I just leave it here? I'm losing brain cells. Trying to stay awake. 1 second, I'm doing some waifu rolling for this rotation. My eyes aren't working anymore. Just need a break from all this reading. My throat is starting to hurt. Man, if I knew going in that it would be this much today. Oh boy. Oh, and it's 4 AM. Oh boy. Alright. Shall we oh, whoops. That. I often wondered if Wei Moon missed the chance to kill me, and instead would send one of his hands to do it. It was you. It was always going to be you. Be an executioner for the one who murdered your father. And in place of him, who you bear hatred, to kill who he hates. What a beautiful outcome. Your slaughter testifies to my point of view. I shall gladly give up resistance and die by your hand, my daughter. This action will form your bridge towards the truth, and allow my death to forge your foundations. I'm not your daughter. I'm not. I'm killing you to put a stop to your evil, once and for all. And then, you will do evil. I've heard enough. And then, you will do good. And you will recognize all the good I did. Ah, this sword. I never had the housekeeper confiscate it. I'm not fond of this sword. You use arts much more than you use swords. But you are still allowed to carry it. It will still remind you where you came from. Great Roar. And it will witness our path. Yours and mine. And do you hate me, Tilo? I won't be taken in, you rotting putrid snake. You're a villain beyond all else. Your life ends here. Hiss. Cough, hiss, hiss. Okay. She missed the heart. It should be closer to the middle. And he just got his lung, I think. But hey, I'm not expert. Only the lobe of my lung Oh. Wow, I'm a genius. Your strike was not... Wow. An anatomy expert here, by the way. I won't hate you, I should. I may hate your endless, long-winded, rancid sophistry, but you yourself haven't earned my hate. I pity you. Your death only testifies to your loneliness. Your vain attempt to turn yourself into a mirage. I'll let you know the sheer absurdity of all you espoused. Now that you'd be able to know now. Wonderful. With my death, Wei may feel a weight off him too. I look forward to when you bear your regret, your hate. Remember this? Lulu, remember this? Your end is in me. Lulu, very carefully, pulls out the sword from the Duke's chest. Her mind is somewhere far, far away. She leaves the towering castle, leaves the city, outruns her pursuers. The seeds already planted, waiting only to sprout. Wait, so is he dead or is he not dead? Didn't he appear in a different part of the story? And this is all far in the past? So either he lived through it, or this is just after. And so you came all the way to where we were. All of that was years ago now. After Kashya died, did anything happen in the city? Did you run into any trouble? If anything else happened, I probably wouldn't have ever reached your village. The city after I left. Oh. So he is dead? But he still lives on. I heard Kashya's domain and wealth were quickly carved up amongst the Fourth Army. And as far as I go, nobody cares. Who'd care about some city girl? Not when she made herself scarce. I didn't wander too far though. I only came to my senses once I was already at the old couple's place. Trust me, back then my brain was a picture of a mess. I can barely even remember what I encountered along the way. Mom said the day you came you were bloody, tip to tail. It was half a miracle she could still wash those clothes clean. Did you ever wonder if maybe our village would secretly kill you? Wait, where's this coming from? Well, I'm just guessing. You must have thought of it. You wouldn't do that. Your harvests were good. You just put me out at the evening dance's bonfire. You had fenced bird and beasts, and decorations hung outside on the walls. Your lives might have been tough, but you still enjoyed how you lived. You wouldn't have killed me. After that, not even the dance would feel right anymore. Who kills someone and stays calm as a lake? Only vicious monsters would. They're not common at all. Don't you think you're too optimistic about people? I've seen too many bad things. In so many cases, they were done by those without another choice. they had the choice to make, I know that the vast majority of people across the whole wide world would choose to be good people. Nothing like what Kashri said. Said that all people were disgraceful, and that you'd hate them and they're evil in the end. All because you were so kind-hearted. What a horrible curse to want to make. It's about as poisonous as words can get. And that's why I'm sure I'll never hate anyone. Everyone has a reason behind it. Do you want me to watch over you? Maybe. That wouldn't be so bad. What about after I'm gone? You'd have to figure things out on your own then. It's bad luck to be so ominous, you know? We'll always have to confront it. Us little infected sooner or later have to make our exits. And taking the little time we have left and doing something that makes the fact we live worthwhile. There's nothing bad about that. I think the same way. It might not be easy, Elena. It might not be easy, but I still believe the infected should reunite as one. We should find where we belong again in our system, if possible. The world should in turn examine its own deeds. After that, it's not just the infected. Not just the infected. Whether it's this Victoria, Lithuania, regardless of country, regardless of race, regardless of your background, we'll sear away all these things that divide us. We should have lives where we deserve to be equally loved. If someone stands in that way of life, then we'll take back what's rightfully ours. If you want to do it, you could give it a trial run first. We'd probably be wiped out to the last. Wasn't your first step to challenge Ursus anyway? No matter what we do, it's all a challenge to Ursus. But when we give some, we gain some. Despite the fact the return isn't certain to be for us. I can't call to mind things as wicked as you could. But my impression is that things in this world might not be as good as you often suppose. You mean? Well, you only give so that you can gain. No, that's not right. What you're asking for is to... I know. But you need to think that way. I won't. Definitely won't. I believe all we've done will bear good fruit. And the reason is simple to match. Because they deserve that result. Because the creatures of this world deserve that fruit. Okay, let's go. Are you going to join with the gorillas? I need them to approve of me first. It'll be difficult. It'll take more than difficulty to slow me down. Oh, and it keeps going on. Basnova hears the person who helped us back there. Keep your bolts knocked. Just like the rumors say, so cold, you Yetis. Cold enough to outstrip this awful winter weather. Are you there, Commander? Infected? Yes. You need to explain then. Why are you wearing an Ursus military officer's uniform? I've come up with a lot of lies for that. Any preference? Fire. Wait. You don't just do humor, do you? Are you the Yeti squad's leader? Why haven't you fired? She really did just help us now. Sister, promise. True. Yetis. I came here to ask assistance as well as to assist you. Assist us? Let's strike on it, Captain Yeti. When conveying sincerity. I always hope to go on the equal and dignified route. I hope we can both have ourselves a dignified, tranquil, level dialogue. No. Try it. I think I've pegged who you are. Those originium crystals they're carrying have your arts, don't they? If I'm able to melt your ice, would you be willing to hear me out for a bit? Dream on. You couldn't. Try it.
この死骸た
Ah,
ち
we are free.
一瞬で溶かしてしまうこともできますのね。見てみたいです。
Poggers. Oh, and then there's this. Will Phantom List. All ideals once transmitted will eventually be corrupted or altered. Only through practice can an ideal be proven. And as we know, once something happens, it cannot be undone.
ああ、ここにいたか。
Here I am. Head path for Soda.
このドア、もう治ったのね。
Products received. Resources received.
ここ、掃除してあるんでしょうね。
家具の向きは大丈夫そうね。悪いものを引き寄せることはなさそうだわ。
見習いたちが私を怖がっている。当然といえば当然か。この部屋、漏電対策はしっかりされて
Her
いま
voice
す
is
か。
really soft. Aesthesia.
今日は何をしましょうか。
I like it.
必要な物資はあるか。助けにならん。
I'm a bit too tired to think though.
この部屋を
Just
断
slap
罪するの
him
は
in.
難しいのである。
この部屋は
Confess
す
and
ごく
thought
安
before
心
I
できますね。
sleep. Or at least reasonably
こ
acceptable.
たつ。こたつはどこ？
この場所はディスクアレイのようなものですか。ここ、悪霊の息遣いを感じる。この壁ならいけそう。あ、いや、なんでもない。部屋に戻って寝るか。
もっと広くして。こんな狭い部屋にどうやって住むんだ？壁も天井もあるなんていい部屋じゃねえか。
ドクターの指示に従います。
That should be good for the night. Anyways, I'll just close this off. Doing this while talking.
Products received.
I don't know if anyone's interested in this at all. But in any case,
あ
thanks for
あ、こ
coming.
こにいたか。
Thanks for watching.
このドア、もう治ったのね。
Received.
Watch for
ああ、ここにいたか。
these streams I sort of enjoy doing, but I just really like the story. But I don't know how anyone likes it. Or I don't know if anyone likes it or if I'm just sort of speaking to myself here. It would be massively beneficial if I just went on without the streams, but I want to share it because I enjoy it, but I guess what I'm saying is show your support if you like this, if you want me to do more of it. It really helps to know that people do want this type of content. I'll maybe do another one of these soon, assuming my voice doesn't give out by tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a Minecraft stream soon as well. I've been a bit mentally occupied lately, but in any case, I'll update wherever appropriate. With that being said, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Today's music is just the in-game music. I wanted to preserve the feeling in the story. I didn't have my own music. But the Discord link is in the description. You join if you'd like. Mostly we're pretty small right now, so it's limited to mainly announcements. But in any case, I'll see y'all later.